I think I'm at where a lot of people are, where it's like, you see the hype, okay, everyone's talking about Claude Code.
In this video, you're going to see me teaching Adam Weiler, the CEO of Implicit. He's a non-technical person, wanted to create his own app using tools such as Cursor and Claude Code. The aim is to help you understand how to use these tools, especially when you're not too sure what technical decision to make. Let's move on over to the Zoom call. Let me see.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's like, might as well, I think I'm at where a lot of people are, where it's like, you see the hype, okay, everyone's talking about Claude Code, and then you get it started. I have it on a Hetzner VPS, and I'm just using Terminus in there. That's where I'm at. And then
Yeah,
it's just
that's what
like,
I'm doing too.
and then it's like, okay, what are the best practices? Because I keep going in loops, in circles, and how do I kind of just like pull out from that? I'm sure there's some tweaks that I should be doing.
Yeah, so we just kind of have to go back to the basics
Yeah.
of, so it seems like you're working off of the remote server
Yep.
right now. Is that, so what you want to do is bring it to your computer. So your
Okay.
local development environment.
Okay.
That way you have a tighter feedback loop, because what you're probably experiencing is that it's operating like a black box. So you're kind of seeing things happen, but then it's kind of hard to dig into the details of like why it's broken.
Okay.
Is that what you're seeing?
Um, I don't even know, right? To be honest.
Okay, cool.
Like,
So no
is it the
problem.
PRD that I've given it? Like, it seems to deviate from that or lose track on that, or is it like the Claude MD I didn't set up the right way? Is it like the context window, or should I be working on individual features and then tying them together? Like, that kind of the whole thing. Alicia?
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me check my internet connection here. It's
Okay.
strange that this would happen.
Okay, sorry about that.
All good.
Okay, so could you repeat that last part?
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's like, am I setting up the Claude MD file correctly? Am I trying to work on too many things, or like should I just be working on one feature at a time? Kind of like all of those workflows. And then the order of operations. Should I get authentication set up first, or should I get up the app first and then add authentication into it?
Yeah, okay. So let's go little by little here.
Yeah.
So part of it will be understanding that the context window is really important.
Okay.
So the more you keep it focused, the better the results. So a couple different ways to do that. One of the ways that you could do that is by working on one task at a time.
Okay.
And then when you're done with that task, you can clear the context window, and then you're starting off with a fresh slate, basically, so that it doesn't get confused and it doesn't like try multiple different paths.
Okay. Well,
Um,
I mean, the best way that I learn is like by doing, right, with the tests. So I've got this project I'm calling Marketing Machine, and the whole point of the tool is to take your meeting recorder webhook and then run it through some processes that I've been doing like on make.com, but I want to turn this into an app, and it outputs marketing content, right? LinkedIn posts in this scenario.
I think, I'm sorry, I think your like meeting notes thing stopped or something.
Oh yeah, let me add it. Okay, so good call.
Yeah, no problem.
Add this app, fresh app, and close current app. Come on, you can do it. Oh, go, boom, boom, boom. Okay, and then all right, cool.
Right.
All right, so and I've got. Let me send you this.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the PRD that I worked on in Claude, not in Claude Code, but just in Claude. This is what it's like. I've got this. Okay, what would I do now in Claude Code, or in And you're saying do it locally first.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a great PRD actually. One thing that now that you have a PRD here, I'm going to give you there's this process that really helps when you have PRDs.
Okay.
Um, this guy, forget his name, but he created a whole process where you could feed it a PRD and then it'll break it down into phases
Okay.
and individual tasks. And then also you have very specialized agents, like you have a UX agent, you have a security agent, you'll have
Yeah, I
a
haven't
dev
even
agent.
gotten to any agent, so it's like
Yeah.
all up.
So they help in that whole process. Like if you have any bugs, there's a QA agent that'll go through, find the bugs, and then help you out with that. Um, but let me tell you, let me show you here. I'm gonna send you this link here. It's called the BMad method.
Okay.
And essentially it's just like markdown files that get installed into different tools like
And
Cursor or Claude Code.
yeah, so I mean, if I could share and then just like, okay,
Yeah,
so
sure.
right, it's like, oh, you got this GitHub repository. All right, what do I even do with it, right? Like, or what? Like, all right, we're getting going. We got the PRD. Like, help. Like, what do you do on a new project every time?
Okay, so let's go and do the little steps here. Number one is, do you have Node installed on your computer?
I think so. How do I test or how do I see that?
If you type in Node and press enter, if you don't see any error, then you have it installed.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah. So you have that installed. And then if you hold Control C,
Okay.
I believe that'll kill it. Yeah, you have to do it twice.
Okay.
So there you go. So that brings you out of that program back to your shell. So that'll be the number one step. Now let's go to BMad method, the GitHub.
Okay.
And if you scroll to the bottom, it'll give you the little command to run.
Oh, okay. Like that.
Yeah, right there.
Start.
Copy npx BMad method install.
Okay.
And then just let that go through. Press yes.
Just
And let's see.
enter.
Let's not do that yet. What you really want to do is you want to install it in the
Oh, okay.
path of wherever your actual project is, because it's putting it some other path right there.
Oh,
But let me
okay.
see.
So
It
let's
just
make
depends.
a new folder, I guess.
Yeah, where is your folder for your project?
I don't have a new one yet, or I don't have one. So let's just do this. So call it marketing machine,
Okay,
and
and then
then
you can just control Command C.
okay, well, how do I exit out of that?
Scroll to the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, press up,
There we go. Boom.
and then you
Okay.
should be able to just Command V. Oh no,
Oh,
my bad.
here.
Go to Finder and drag the whole folder into the terminal,
Okay.
and it should like just plop the path
Boom.
on there.
There
There
we
you
go.
go.
Sick.
Okay.
Boom. Already learning stuff.
Yeah. Well, you got to get rid of those the
Oh,
quotes.
okay. Let's do boom. Let's do that and boom.
And then yeah, just keep going to the first one.
Okay.
Yep. Then press enter. The first one should be fine. And if you want to like add a couple different ones, it will be sharded. Yes. Yes.
Which IDE cursor?
Press enter the cursor and Claude Code and any
Okay.
other ones that you use.
Just those two.
Okay, so let me see what's the next. Just press enter. Yeah. Would you like to include pre-built web bundles? Those are useful. Yeah.
Okay.
Web bundles. Would you like to include just all?
Okay. Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay.
All right. So if you look on your left side of the screen,
Mm-hmm.
there's a little like folder thing on the
Yep.
top. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Since you already created that marketing machine folder, go to open. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Okay.
So if you expand, if you don't mind doing that.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if the command for cursor is to zoom in. I don't remember what to do. Yeah, if you could do like command plus on the keyboard to kind of like zoom in
There we
so I
go.
could see it a little bit better. Yeah. Oh,
Boom.
that's good. All right. And then drop in your PRD into, I think you want to create a folder called docs and then drop it in that folder.
Okay. And then so here, so there's output save as markdown or download as markdown and then put it in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And then open a file. Oh, that's weird. Here. Oh, I'm gonna get it there. Okay.
All right. So, and then just rename it to PRD in caps. That first step is just reviewing the PRD because since the LLM is so random in nature, it's going to give some suggestions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's exactly what you want. So,
Okay.
did you actually review everything?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what did it say in terms of like the tech stack?
I actually did another thing. I had it take the implementation plan and build step-by-step standard operating procedures and user stories.
Okay.
Oh, actually, here, hold on. B2, and then I made tweaks on that, which this is what that is. I'll chat it to you.
This is artifacts here. Okay.
Oh,
Let's
here, no, hold
see.
on. That's version 2. Let me get you the version 3. Here, that link.
Mm-hmm.
Should I download that and put it somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where should I put
You
that?
you put in the docs folder and just name it like SOP and user stories .md.
That like
Oh,
this?
there that should be fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. So this is I'm just going through here and
Yeah.
seeing what it's suggesting in terms of the tech stack and all that.
You know what? I've set up clerk for off, and that seems I was able to get that going. So I don't know. I don't think I updated the stories or the PRD for that.
Okay.
Like, could I just tell it like, hey, by the way, use clerk for auth, or where's the best
You
way to like?
can. Did you use Opus to create these docs?
I did.
Okay. The tricky part about this is I'm a little bit hesitant to ask it to do that
Okay. Should I
because
just
it'll
do that in my Claude chat and have it update it?
wow. I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you because you're still watching this video and I spend so much time and effort into these so that you can understand what I know. If you haven't already liked this video or subscribed to my channel, please do so below. Let's move on back on over to the video.
You know what? I've set up clerk for off, and that seems I was able to get that going. So I don't know. I don't think I updated the stories or the PRD for that.
Okay.
Like, could I just tell it like, hey, by the way, use clerk for auth, or where's the best
You
way to like?
can. Did you use Opus to create these docs?
I did.
Okay. The tricky part about this is I'm a little bit hesitant to ask it to do that. So with Cursor or Claude Code, if you set it up, well, Cursor makes it easier this way because it has checkpoints.
Okay.
But if you set it up with versioning, are you familiar with Git?
Yeah, I have that on the Vercel with I've got GitHub integrated. It's like I kind of knew how to do this. I don't know if I set it up correctly.
Yeah. So do you understand like the general concept of
Yeah,
Git?
there's branches you can merge to master. There's like restores from all that stuff.
Okay, cool. So basically, if you enable Git in your project and then you ask whether it's Claude Code or Cursor to update it,
Okay.
then you'll see exactly what it changed. So you
Okay.
can do like for instance, right now in this particular project, you can set up Git. So if you look at the little on the left hand side, there's like the magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Right to the right of it, source control.
Okay.
So that if you click on that, initialize repository, that'll create your local Git
Okay.
repository before you actually push it up to GitHub. So right here in this case, all this right here is all these changes from BMAD, all these files from BMAD. the BMad method that you installed earlier.
Okay.
So we can actually save all those. Yeah, you can just commit all and
Yes.
stage them, commit, and then also cancel real quick because we want a good like little commit message. In the commit message, you could say installed BMAD and added the PRD.
Where do I say that? Or here?
Right there where it says message, yeah.
BMAD and PRD.
And then if you hover over before clicking on commit right there, if you, and let me see if I can get ask for
Yeah.
control here, request
Yeah.
remote
Here.
control.
All right.
Okay, it's a little trick right here to make this easier to read. View as tree, so you can
Nice.
actually see what folder these things are in.
Okay.
But so for instance, if you can see that all these folders were created with those files under them, and then also your docs with your PRD. But let's say, for instance, you only want to commit the docs at the moment. Everything else you don't because it's a work in process.
Okay.
You could just add the specific things that you want to commit individually. But in this case, we're just committing everything because
Yeah. It's like a setup.
everything. Yeah, this is a setup commit basically. So we're just gonna add everything.
Okay.
And at this point, then you can commit. So I'll let you click on that, get that little
Okay.
muscle memory in there.
Boom.
And so now you can reference whether it's in the PRD or user stories on the right-hand side. How much familiarity do you have with Cursor?
A little bit. I've like done some script, like Python scripts and stuff like that.
Do you have an active Cursor subscription?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, so let's just go ahead and say we are going to reference the PRD.
Okay, so you like to use Cursor and Claude Code because we haven't even touched Claude Code yet.
Not yet, no.
Okay,
Normally, and this is the thinking process that I like to go with.
perfect.
I use both of them together.
Nice.
So Claude Code I'll use for the larger features. Or when I need to look for something, let's say my code base is really large, I'll use Claude Code to kind of navigate and look for certain things
Okay.
because it's really good at doing that.
Okay.
For Cursor, I do the finer things.
Okay.
Very fine details.
Okay.
Especially because Cursor is basically a really powerful editor.
Okay.
It has
So
the
on one
intelligent.
file, you like to run it in that. Across the whole code base, you're looking at Claude Code. And
Yeah,
and probably the issues I was running into was using Claude Code for like one thing, and it was
yes,
touching everything.
exactly. That tends to be the problem. In fact, if you do need to use Claude Code for one file, many times in your prompt you have to say,
Don't touch
like,
any.
don't touch, yeah, don't touch anything else. Just touch this.
Yeah.
You literally do have to say
That's
that.
awesome.
Um,
And is it Jorge or George? What do you go by?
I'll go by George, but
Okay.
yeah.
And George, how long have you been doing this? And like, did you come from a development background?
My background is 18 years of software development.
Oh, awesome. But you've
So
jumped in like full because I'm sure you know a lot of developers who are resistant to this. So what's your thinking of like why are why did you jump in? What did you see that others aren't seeing?
one of the biggest things that like blew me away, like for instance, I'm going to talk about Claude Code. My normal process was that I'll work on one task and I'll get done with it and then I'll move on to the next. With Claude Code, that paradigm changed because now I can do two things in parallel or three or four or five, depending on how comfortable I am
Yeah.
with Claude Code or with the specific tasks in mind. And that's not possible, like humanly possible is not.
Yeah.
The only way that would be possible is if I have somebody that I'm managing under me and I'm delegating that task to that person.
Yep.
So
And then are you still reviewing the code or are you just hitting like auto accept at this point?
I do review the code.
Okay.
But I don't, depends if I'm doing like a prototype and I'm just wanting to get ideas like quickly. I don't like review the code as much as if I'm trying to do something that's production ready.
Yeah.
That users are going to use.
Okay.
So that's that's something to keep in mind too. Like, is this something that I'm gonna throw away because I just want to get some ideas, or I'm actually this needs to be stable because I have customers that are going to use it.
Yeah. Okay.
In that case, in those cases, I really do spend more time on reviewing everything.
Sick. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess so. Okay, so you're hitting the, and then we're going into planning mode now, or what are you thinking?
In general, for these things, the thing about this is that I like to get used to understanding the individual pros and cons of each model.
Okay.
You can go, like, for instance, you can use in Cursor just auto and let Cursor figure out which model to choose.
Okay.
But personally, I have seen and experienced that every model is good at some things and not for others.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, let me add a couple of different models here. It seems like not all of them are here added. Okay, and we just hit the 30-minute mark. I know you
Yeah.
booked for 30 minutes.
Are you still good to go, or I'm good?
I'm totally fine if you're
Yeah.
okay.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. So right here, I'm going to just like check mark a couple
Okay.
of these. By default, it doesn't add all of them, so you just
Yeah.
have to add them in there. So, like, for instance, some models are really good at debugging.
Mm.
Gemini 2.5 Pro is really good at debugging. If you have some like really hard problem that you just can't figure out, you just feed it to Gemini 2.5 Pro and say, like, this is the error. Here are the files that are worked on, and then ask it, what could the problem potentially be? And it'll
Awesome.
go in there and do a full analysis, and almost, I say, like 8 times out of 10, it'll get it right.
Wow.
So it's just to kind of understand which ones are good at doing that and not. And some of the new GPT-5, like the high and high fast, which are like the larger brained models, are really
Yeah.
good at doing that too.
Okay.
Let me see here. What's a couple other good ones here? Then you have some models that are good for like UI UX stuff.
Okay.
You have some that are really good at just planning.
Okay.
Implementation, they're not great, but planning,
Okay.
they're like amazing. Like, for instance, O3 is amazing at planning and not great at implementation. So,
Okay.
like, for instance, O3 would be in the same space as like Opus 4 and 4.1.
Cool.
Then you have other ones that are really good at just following instructions and not deviating
Okay.
from that. GPT-5s are good at that too, like the smarter ones.
Okay.
Okay, so I will just, let's see. Okay. Oh, just forgot that I don't have update the documentation so that any reference to authentication shows that it's using the clerk library / service.
Okay.
Does that look accurate to
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Solid.
All right. So no other action is
I
required.
think just hit it again.
Let's see. You submit to continue, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah.
Continue. All right. So it's just a thinking model, so it'll show it's thinking.
Cool. Nice.
Okay. So let's just, while it's doing that, we'll just go to the other parts here. All right. So let's get Claude installed here. Yep, marketing machine. Let's just, all right, switch over to Sonnet for now.
Okay.
Okay. And then, so what that did when I ran it the first time in Cursor and installed the plugin, that integrates Cursor and Claude Code more deeply.
Okay.
So, like, for instance, when it makes changes, it'll pop up the file in Cursor, and then you can like manually approve and deny certain changes that it made,
Awesome.
which is so good. Okay, okay, so Orchestrator here. Oops, let's cancel. So BMAD installed, like, first of all, you have these. Are you familiar with slash commands in
Mm-hmm.
Claude Code?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it installed like custom slash commands. So right here, we can put it into Orchestrator. And the Orchestrator, there's 2 different ones that I always get it confused. But basically, since the BMad method is just a set of specialized team members where
Mhm.
they're focused on certain areas. Orchestrator is good when you're coming in new
Cool.
to BMAD, and it'll kind of educate you and like tell you, oh, this is how you can use BMAD, and it'll like call the different agents to work with each other and stuff like that.
Awesome.
But you could say, for instance, I have this PRD and SOP. Can you help me to understand how to use BMAD? And then reference the actual PRD,
Oh, nice.
and then reference the SOP just by doing at, and then press enter, and you should see it give you some usable output here. So let me see what it comes up with. Now, while it's doing that, we'll just go and look at what happened. So this is the
Okay.
thing that I told you why I like Cursor
Yeah.
to do like these changes. So like for instance, right here, you can go into the PRD,
Yep.
and because you said now I'm using Clerk,
Yep.
it'll tell you
Boom.
exactly what changed. So you can be like, oh, authenticate to LinkedIn via OAuth handled by Clerk. I don't know how accurate that is, but it
Yeah.
seems like it is. But and then you can go through each individual change, and you can either approve or deny, or just edit whatever was
Yeah.
there and then approve and deny that particular thing. I'm sorry, this is not the particular side to look at. There's two different ways to look at changes. So the cursor way is that it shows you this diff on the
Yep.
right hand side. This one is specific to Git,
Okay.
and you'll know because it shows working tree on the top.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind because it might throw you off in the future, just like it threw me off too. So I'll go ahead and click on this one. Now this one's actually the one that's where the cursor is telling you these are the changes that were made. And
Cool.
then you can change them individually. Okay, so here it says that, and then this should be good. This is LinkedIn.
There we go. Yep. Okay.
Okay, multi-factor with Clerk. So I haven't used Clerk like directly. So let me ask you this. Yeah, go ahead.
It seems right. It seems right. It's like Clerk. Once I was able to get Clerk going, which is like the API keys, it was seamless. It felt like it.
So you're creating a LinkedIn app basically?
No, it's a marketing app that posts on different social media channels. For the sake of this, LinkedIn is the first channel.
Oh, okay, got it. So it's authenticating the
Like
person with
login. Yeah.
LinkedIn.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
So you can
separate.
post
Like, yep. So it can post on behalf
on
of.
their behalf.
Mhm.
Okay, got it. All right, all right.
Like for
So
the purpose of the app is like it would take this meeting and it would take you would do like an onboarding of George, like, hey, I'm George, I do this, this is like my ideal customer profile, this is about my company, and it would take the meeting transcript and that information and generate marketing hooks and then write the posts based on those hooks. Hey, I work with Adam, he's this, and like, are you stuck on how to set up Claude Code or having issues with Claude Code? It would generate a 1,500 word LinkedIn post with an image, automatically posting it on your behalf.
so like this call is being transcribed. You
Yeah.
can turn it into, okay,
Yeah,
got
it's
it.
like, because the problem that you have as a business owner is like you're doing everything and you're supposed to carve out time for marketing, but what if you can just like take your meetings and turn those into marketing? That's the
Agreed. I think your meeting notes like came off again. I don't know
again.
why.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's strange.
That's weird. I've never seen that before. But you've got this recording as long as you send it, if you can share it after too.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Okay, so
But
oops.
that looks good. Let's say that that's good.
Yeah, let's go back over here real quick. Let's say that's good. It's using JWTs and the role-based access is good. This sounds good. Then you go to the next file, and then this one I personally don't know the details of
Yeah.
Clerk, so I wouldn't even know if this is correct. I'd have to really kind of dig it. Personally, I would have to dig in to that. I don't know. So this is one of those things where I would go to the documentation
Hmm.
and make sure that that's correct. Because if not, sometimes what happens with it really does look correct. Like, oh yeah, it's like doesn't look
Yeah.
like a problem. But then when it comes to implementation, it's like, oh crap, this does not work at all.
Okay.
Oh, this is one of those situations where I would definitely check the documentation. And this is
Oh.
looking at a webhook. Where's the webhook coming from? What service?
From meeting recorders, right? Like Fireflies, I use Read AI, like all these like meeting recorder apps, like the plugins have a webhook option.
You aren't using basically a one and all service that's connecting to those different ones?
Um,
Or you're basically integrating to each individual meeting service that
it's
has some sort of
each,
webhook?
yeah, so you create the webhook and I can show you in Read AI. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
create the webhook, and then that has a payload of the meeting transcript,
And that
right?
so
Boom.
you're getting that from Read AI?
Yeah. But
Uh,
and Fireflies and TLDR and all those have a similar functionality.
But it doesn't all flow through Read AI, right? Because it's Read AI is
Correct.
like its separate service.
No, so our app would need to give the user a webhook, right? And then you put that URL in here.
Okay. What I'm trying to figure out is since because you mentioned you have all these different services that you're going to be
Well, I mean, we can just do it for Read AI in the beginning
yeah,
and like then add on from there.
okay. So if you look at the Read AI docs,
Hmm.
wherever it talks about the webhook.
And I was able to, I got that working. Um,
Oh, okay, good.
yeah,
All right. So if you believe that based on what you have already got, what you already had working, if this looks like fine,
yeah.
then that's good. Or what? Let me ask you this: what is this company ID like? What does it
I don't
represent?
know. I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. That's one of the things where.
So you're saying do that homework before because once you start
Oh
getting
yeah,
down the road,
oh yeah.
it
Even
creates
even if you
issues.
feed it documentation that's up to date,
Yeah.
still you need to check it because you're gonna have headaches. If conceptually what's happening is incorrect, you're gonna have problems. So you
Okay.
just have to, verify everything basically.
Okay.
I'm sorry. When it comes to like fine implementation details like this, where you are integrating to an API and you need to make sure that it works,
Yeah.
then yes, you need to do the homework.
Okay.
At some point, perhaps you get your whole workflow in such a way where you have to do less of that homework, but you absolutely in the beginning need to do the homework
Okay.
because it will break.
Okay.
um but in this case, you told me you already had this working, but
Yep.
it's good to understand like what does this mean. But anyways, so let's just assume that all this looks
Yeah.
good. Then all you know that all the changes that were done, you're happy with.
Yep.
But sometimes there are situations where there's little
I would see
fine
it.
things.
Yeah. Like, oh,
Yeah. And that's why I like to go through these things.
okay.
But okay,
And
so
then if
let's
so, then you would go hop back on the right and be like, or you can either modify right there, or you can hop in the right chat and say like, actually, blah, blah, blah.
yes. So if it's something where it just makes sense to just update it
Yep.
yourself, like for instance, it's just one little change right here, right?
Yeah.
Then you can do it yourself. Let me see. Yeah. If it's little change, you could just type it in there. But if it's kind of like a larger change that was completely off, you have two options. You have the option of just telling it what to change,
Yeah.
or in this scenario, I'm trying to think the best way. I think the best way in this scenario is to just to tell it the problem that you had, And like, this is
Okay.
not correct. I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use, I'm not going to use X. I'm going to use Y.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it'll do that. If
Cool.
like, for instance, you do that and it made a mistake again,
Yeah.
like, no, like this is not what I asked for. What you can do is you can click on the message, change it, and then submit it.
Mm,
The biggest thing that happens here is that it keeps your context
mm,
focused. It's not, you're not throwing it into different directions, and in the end is going to get more confused.
okay.
What you're doing is you're making sure that it's always going down the right path. Even if
Okay.
it didn't go down the right path the first time, when you do this change, it's kind of like, okay, erase whatever you
Yeah.
like suggested before. Let's start all over, and then from this starting point, and then it
Okay.
takes your feedback and goes to the next thing.
Okay. Good there. I think good there. Like what as far as like okay, what are next steps in when you're doing a project?
Next steps. All right. So for instance, here, this is, you know how I mentioned the BMAD Orchestrator here? So to tell you all the different things, this is a little bit, you have to understand the workflow. So
Awesome.
it'll tell you which ones are available, and then you can ask, I want to use this particular agent. It'll tell you which agent is used for what. So the general thing is some agents are more of like research, some are like help me understand my problem. Some are I want to get things done, pass it over to the developer for implementation.
Okay.
Some of them are like I need to review what happened.
That is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's what I love about the AI assisted coding. You got like this whole team if you figure this out. But anyways, the idea is that would be mad if that is that you have different people that you can work with within the team that do different things, and it'll guide you on what you need to do. So for instance here, it seems like it didn't catch my message, my original message. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press up here. Let me see if it actually showed it in the messages here. Okay, I don't know why I didn't add it, but I'll do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I have a PRD and a SOP. Help me understand what my next possible steps are.
And is that using BMAD or is that regular Claude Code or BMAD in Claude Code?
It's BMAD in Claude Code. So, yeah, right here is oh, let me put this in do not disturb. Okay. All right. No, I got this in do not disturb. All right. So now you see right here,
Yep.
it analyzed your PRD and SOP, and then it says, you know, based on this, here are your immediate actions. So one of the things is it says like, okay, I can actually start doing the work right now.
Nice.
The other part is like, for instance, review and refine. So you'll have it says deep dive into user stories and acceptance criteria, or you want to understand which features you want to prioritize because you're not exactly sure at the moment, and also clarify ambiguous requirements. So you have all these. Notice how it says like agent analyst, agent product owner for PO. You have one that's where it creates the actual sprint plan. So this is built upon the agile method.
Okay.
So you have like sprints and like spikes and all that stuff. But anyways, and in the end, it was giving you the recommendation if you want to start coding, you can start with agent dev. If you need an infrastructure guidance, and definitely architecture is like paramount when you're working with AI now because
Okay.
it just doesn't get it right. So it's good to even just when you want to make something production ready is to kind of understand what the architecture could look like or what it should look like.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah,
a
what
good
would you
step
go
to
with
go
if
through.
this was your project? What would you do next?
I personally, I kind of spend more time more on the architecture
Okay.
to understand what didn't I think about? What are some blind spots that I didn't think about? So we can do that. Let's see. Right here, first I'm going to say, I want to talk about the architecture
Okay.
to know some blind spots, but I don't immediately want to implement anything. What should I do with the BMAD? So then it'll tell you what to do.
And are you good for another half hour right now?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Good for
Well,
another half hour.
let's by the end, let's like, show this, and then I'd love to hop on, in a few days, but like give me in the meantime, Adam, go work on these things, like get it to this point, and then we'll pick back up and like come with a list of questions and stuff.
Yeah. You want me to tell you that right now?
Well, by the end of the next 30 minutes, right? So let's get,
Okay.
so I'd say for 15 more minutes, let's like keep going down this, and then in the next 15, it's like after.
Okay, cool. All right. In general, this is the thinking process. Let me think broadly.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure that my approach is solid.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if you want to just jot
No.
that down mentally or whatever. Oh, but I mean, you have the meeting
Yeah.
notes, but
Exactly.
so is this solid? That involves research, and even you can bounce off the ideas, whether it's with Claude Code, whether it's in Claude, whether it's in Cursor. But you want to do that. You want to bounce off ideas back and forth. It might mean some manual research, and you
Okay.
want to know, is this a solid approach? Is there something that I'm missing? Okay, that's broadly speaking. And then the next part is, am I choosing a tech stack that I'm comfortable with? Like, do you have a specific tech stack that you're comfortable with?
No, I'm agnostic.
Agnostic. Okay.
It's like I know from Hetzner and Vercel, and it's like does something work with that?
Okay. Yeah. So if you're working with Vercel, then pretty much JavaScript, TypeScript is
Yep.
like the most supported language. So you might as well just go that way
Yep.
if you want to just get used to that. If you're pretty much set on using Vercel. Hetzner is a VPS, so it's pretty much, it'll support anything. But for Vercel, it's more optimized. I believe it'll support other things, but it's definitely more optimized for JavaScript and TypeScript.
Cool.
So that's something to keep in mind. So once you get like the tech stack down, you're like familiar with that. The next step after that is to have a good starting point. So for instance, there's a couple different command line projects that'll give you like a bare bones app,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll create it locally. Well, let's call it a little hello world app that's actually working. So now you have like a solid base to work off of that. Then at that point, that's where I would start like breaking down the features. BMAD is awesome at doing that, but basically it's just breaking down the features, making sure that the features, you prioritize the features you're okay with doing first.
Okay.
I know in the beginning of the call you asked, well, do I do auth first or do I do the app without auth?
Yeah.
Personally, when I'm still exploring the idea, I tend to do no auth first
Okay. Okay.
because I really want to kind of feel it first.
You don't want that extra layer messing things up.
Exactly.
Okay.
So like for instance, you could have a little bit of the integrations working, which you said you already had part of it working. So
Okay.
get that. And then the next step, once you feel everything feels right, then you can actually layer on the auth on top.
Cool.
But in terms of auth, you just kind of have to understand a little bit of architecture. And I have this, I'll send you a link later. O'Reilly has they're promoting a bundle with like a bunch of different software architecture books. So I'll send that over to, and it's a good thing to like have a look at some books to kind of have an better idea of like how to structure things,
Okay.
because things will be more clear to you. Like, oh, here, if I structure my app this way, it'll be a problem down the road. Or if I do it this other way, it'll be more beneficial to me. Especially now that I'm using, I'm using Vercel. Oh, now I'm using Hetzner. So now Now I need to make sure that architecture is fine because I'm using different deployment scenarios. Does that kind of answer your question in
Yeah,
terms of like,
super.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
order and yeah, it's just super, super helpful. It's like I can watch all the YouTube videos, but like this is awesome.
yeah, oh, great to hear.
Right.
And I'm going to give you something that's really helped me over my whole career is that there's things that are broad and there's things that are granular.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can kind of understand what's broad versus what's granular, then you
Mm-hmm.
understand where it fits.
Okay.
So like for instance, auth is broad
Yeah.
because like you need to make sure it's working behind all these different services
Yep.
because you need to protect those services. When you're working on a specific page, that's granular because it's just that particular page.
Yeah. A button color or move it or so. Yeah.
Exactly. So then you could think about like, okay, so what's global? What am I sharing? And what's just very specific to this area, this particular area of the app. So that when you're actually coding things, then you understand this is more global and it's going to be used in different parts of the app. This is just specific to this small area of the app. And that helps also with architecture too, like designing everything, because now you understand like where it fits. Oh, this is global. This is global. This is very specific.
Okay.
That really, really helps in every little decision that you're going to make. Is this global? Is this specific? Is this global? Is this specific?
I like it.
All right, so let's just go back to like the questions here about how to go about doing this. So it said option number 1 is to talk to the agent architect.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to copy that and then say, let's switch over to the agent architect. So I'm going to say let's talk to the architect. So then I'm going to let that go through. It looks at the markdown for what the architect does.
Okay.
And then now it's going to change its role so that it's the architect. And now it's going to give you the different viewpoints and what an architect, a software architect that you're working with, what they would do.
Cool.
So while that's going, let me see what else we can talk about. Could you remind me again, what was your goal for the end of these
Yeah.
30 minutes?
Oh, okay. And then yeah, I guess starting now, it's like, what should I be working on over the next week? And let's say we book a call for next week. What should I be doing in the meantime? Obviously, besides getting a list of questions or areas I'm stuck, like
Yeah.
where should I be working?
Yeah. So now that you saw that you can actually, put Claude Code in what they call the orchestrator mode, and then
Yeah.
you kind of go back and forth and ask it for guidance. So ask it for guidance on who you need to talk to
Okay.
for the particular task that you're interested in.
Nice.
Like the one task that I mentioned was like you want to get architecture feedback
Yep.
because you want to make sure that this is solid. So you ask it, I need architecture feedback. You can try between like, for instance, when you're just about to get that architecture feedback, before you get it, you can choose maybe Opus because Opus tends to think
Yep.
broadly. So it's a really good one for that particular task. So you can in Claude Code, you could switch to Opus and then ask for that feedback. Once you're done going back and forth, you could switch it back to Sonnet and then go to the next thing. Let's say, for instance, based on the feedback, now you understand, oh, my architecture looks good. And even you can say like this is a little bit too advanced for me. Is there
Yeah.
is there an
Okay.
is there an architecture that is still solid but simple in such a way that I can implement it? That's another way that you could go. And then also just going back and like help me understand what this means, help me understand what that
Yeah.
means, help me understand. So just use it as a tutor too.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that you can do. And then switch between the different agents. For instance, it has the analyst agent, which let's say you want to do a little bit more background, more marketing research about your particular idea. And so if I'm not mistaken, it'll even trigger Claude Code to do web searches. So it'll actually do web searches. It might even look at competitors and stuff and just, now that reminds me that I did do this. It'll look at competitors, it'll look at what other apps are doing, and then might potentially look at what there's there's a gap in the market. So that's, you can integrate that too. That's another option. But just kind of going between the different agents and
Now, should I be building anything, or like where, when do when do we do that?
yeah, absolutely. When it gets to building, you can just say, I want to get this task built. So
Okay.
what's next? Like, what do I do next? Let's say, for instance, I'm going to let's go back to the orchestrator, and I'm going to say, I want to work on a particular task. Actually, you know what? I'm going to fork this. What I did was right there, I pressed escape twice,
Yeah.
and then you can go to a previous message and start a new chat starting from
nice.
there. It's
Cool.
super, super useful. So like, let's say I wanted to say, let's go to the end here. I want to start implementing this. What should I do next? And most likely, so I'll keep it more broad right here.
Okay.
So it'll give you what the right approach is. There's a couple of different things that it does, like it'll go between breaking it down into different tasks, making sure that the whatever tool you're using, whether it's Cursor or Claude Code, it has the right amount of context to get its job done. So for instance, it'll load in the architecture, it'll understand the general business idea, and then it'll load in the actual technical task so that it can keep going and doing that. Okay, let's say we're gonna do plan.
Okay.
So it's gonna map out the development phases.
Cool.
So we'll let that go. Okay, so it's like mapping out
And
what needs to
in
be done.
between now and next time we meet, should I go through these and just see where I get stuck, or?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So just like hands on keyboard, trying to use the different agents. If I get stuck, analyze agent, otherwise go try to use, if it's like one specific small thing up in the right on the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. The bigger things, like I said, I recommend using Claude Code.
Yep.
Finer things, just like you mentioned, hop on the right side. Even really small things, just edit the little thing that you didn't want or just deny that little change. Okay. So like for instance, it proposed all this here.
Yeah.
And let me show you phase number 1. Okay, phase 0 actually. So this is just setup. Notice how it says
Yep.
setup. It's doing like very specific things that you always need to do in the beginning of a project.
Okay.
And then you just kind of make sure that all those things are what you want it to do, because
Okay.
it's making a lot of assumptions,
Yeah.
or it might make a lot of assumptions. So perhaps, if a lot of those technical details are in the PRD, then just kind of like check the PRD against what it's suggesting to do.
Okay.
And then everything looks good, then you can actually let it rip and just
Okay.
do the actual tasks. So like for instance, right now I could say agent dev.
Yep.
Let's say here, not exactly sure if it's going to start doing the work, but let's say it doesn't start immediately. I'll tell you exactly what to do next. So I'm just
Cool.
checking what's going to happen here real quick. Yeah, this is something that I forgot about. Yeah. Okay. There is a sharding part here. I'm sorry. Can you bring the page for BMAD? Because I don't know exactly where it is.
Yeah. Should be here.
All right. So here, this got updated a little bit. So just gotta check where this is at. I believe it's down here. There's a specific command that shards the docs. Actually, I think, okay. There's a specific process that just kind of splits up the PRD into
Into those. Nice.
Yeah.
That's
So let me see which one it is here. This is the belt. Yeah, this is, I think I might do this one. So BMAD Master, it's kind of like all the agents in one.
Okay.
But
Well,
I'm only gonna,
how long have you started? Oh, there we go. The shard doc.
yeah,
Shard documented sections.
yeah, there it goes. So
Okay.
shard. Since you have a PRD but no architecture,
There we go.
so what we want is this one here.
God, this is crazy, dude. What a world we're living in.
I know. Even when I ran into this, I was like, whoa, like I wish I would have had this in the beginning of my career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do? Are you teaching now? Are you like building a million apps? You building one app like what's your workflow?
Currently, I've been just deep diving into I'm almost like content creator in such a way, in a way, specifically for AI assisted coding.
Yeah.
So my ultimate goal is to be able to do training for enterprises. That's
Sick.
that's what I would like to do. But I'm open to so many different paths.
Oh, I
But
think that's
that's
the move. I mean, there's so many developers who need help with this, right?
yeah, yeah. So that's where I'm going towards is,
Cool.
and I've had like literally today, yesterday I put a deep dive. Have you heard of Context 7?
Mm-mm.
So are you familiar with MCPs?
Yeah.
So there's an MCP that's used for getting latest documentation for a lot of popular libraries.
Okay.
The most popular one is called Context 7.
Okay.
And a lot of people use it, but they don't know how it works. So I basically deep dove into how to try to figure out how it works. And then I wrote a really comprehensive article on Reddit, and like, let me see right now, got like 41,000 views, and it's like the number 3
That's awesome.
post in the subreddit. And I've been doing a couple different ones. This other one got what NCPs I use on a day-to-day basis. That got 81,000 views. So apparently, I feel like I'm on the right path in terms of
Yeah,
like teaching AI assisted coding. So that's
that's awesome.
yeah. All right. So here, let's go back to here. It actually, there you go. It created the architecture based on your PRD. So if you go
Okay.
into the actual
And
architecture
how often are
file,
you committing? Every update or once an hour or
I don't have a time. It's more of, am I at a stable
okay.
point?
Yeah.
That's what I ask myself. Am I at a stable point where I feel like I cannot lose where I'm at right now, because then I'm going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So I will commit
Okay.
at that point.
Cool.
That's in general how I think. I don't normally commit very often. It's more stable. Or here's a good one. I feel like the next step will completely mess up what I did
Mm,
before.
okay.
So if you feel in the beginning, I would probably lean towards committing more because
Yeah.
you're still not familiar about like what's going to happen next. So just to be safe and to essentially create backups of where you are, I would
Okay.
commit
And at
more.
what point do you start pushing to Git?
Whenever I want to, like for instance, if pushing to GitHub will lead to deploying to my server, then I would push it up there.
Okay. So while you're
Or
testing locally, you don't worry about it, and then okay.
exactly, I don't worry about pushing up locally. I'm sorry, to GitHub until it's kind of a deployment thing. But
Okay.
for the most part, I stay locally until things are ready to be pushed out to the world.
Okay. And
Um,
I've only got a few minutes for today. Well, so I guess how should I schedule you for the next one? And then what should my steps be from here?
okay, next steps will just be continuing on using BMAD.
Okay.
And I'll give you a more comprehensive like follow up just to make sure that you can kind of go back and do these things iteratively.
Yep.
But just go get familiar with BMAD because it's literally gonna guide you through the whole process.
It's awesome.
Even right here, like right now, see it created the architecture. I'll give you some tasks to do. There's some parts are kind of gonna be like homework,
Yeah. Perfect.
and then it's more of like start getting used to BMAD, start figuring out where you're having troubles and kind of making a list of it so that when we have our next call, we can get rid of those roadblocks.
Awesome.
But yeah, basically right here, we did the whole architecture thing. And then the next step would be actually, you can assign the tasks to the developer, assuming everything's all fine and dandy.
Sick.
Huh.
Where, and then how should I book you for the next one?
Same place on
Okay.
Clarity.
You
So
trying
you
to
could
build up reviews there, or what? Why there versus just direct or another platform?
I'm trying to have more reviews on this particular service.
Okay.
In fact, if you are actually more interested in doing something more continuous,
Yeah.
more like, then we don't necessarily need to go on Clarity. We'll just,
Okay.
negotiate something and then we'll do it directly. And then I'll
Awesome.
invoice you or whatever.
Okay. Well, let me
But
book one more on Clarity, and then we could talk on our next one.
okay, cool.
Boom. I'm stoked, dude. Yeah, I want to build this out. I mean, I've never had a product led tool that like that anyone could use. Like you could use this thing, like I'm assuming it's fully baked out. You could be using this. The plumber down the street could be using this. Like everyone could be using, and there's like product led with like we can tag it with like or watermark it with like marketing machine. Like so. I'm
Yeah,
excited for this one.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
I've been using this. Like I've gotten hundreds of thousands of LinkedIn impressions with this, but I've got it built in make.com, right? So it's like I want to turn it from like, and I've got a ton of friends who are like, could you install this for me? And I'm like, not really. I would have to sit with you for 15 hours to like build this for your company.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's pretty awesome that you use the no code tools to actually make this.
Yeah, no code tools and assistants, OpenAI assistants, because they got the vector storage. So that's what I'm trying to like turn it into like that any user could sign up and do this.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
Did you pull some of the stuff that you had in make.com to do, like, for instance, the PRD?
I took some old chats that I've been doing in Claude and then used that for some of the PRD. Like, hey, I'm going to convert this to an app. How do I do that?
Okay. Because if there's certain parts of the workflow in Make, you might be able to kind of
Mm.
integrate that into what you're already doing.
And I guess last question, and I gotta hop. When do you just like call it on this on like and like start over with like a new PRD versus like trying to salvage it when you're on Cloud Code and Cursor on a project?
Like starting,
Starting
like,
fresh,
let's
like
say
hey,
you're already done all these different tasks and now you want to go to the next stage.
or you're like, I'm running into issues on here. It's clear like there's something broken from the get-go. Maybe that like off thing, or we should remove off from the get-go. How often are you scrapping projects versus like trying to save them?
I would say depends on at what point you're having the problem, how deep are you into it. But because of these AI assisted tools, the good thing is that you can scrap and have this starting point to continue from there.
Hmm.
So how often all depends on how often you're having problems, and is it kind of something, is it because you don't understand something, or is it because the tool that you're using is giving you outputs that aren't good?
Hmm.
So you kind of have to ask yourself that, am I not understanding this, or it's just Cloud Code? Cloud Code is
Okay.
giving me crap,
Cool.
or Cursor is giving me crap. You just kind of have to weigh where is that.
Okay. George, I'm gonna walk through this. I'm gonna book another call for next week, and we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds
Badass,
good.
man. I'm excited. I'm stoked
Same here.
to keep going this.
All righty.
All right. Great to talk to you. Bye.
Same here. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.